It's renowned around the world for its sake, and its malt whiskies are now regarded as the equal of anything out of Scotland. But when it comes to wine, Japan has until now had a reputation for producing plonk that was unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Now, a young winemaker who learned her trade in Australia is winning sceptics over with a homegrown grape variety from the foothills of Mt Fuji. The ABC's North Asia correspondent Mark Willacy reports.
It's the ultimate way to get pickled. At this wine spa in Japan, people aren't just sipping it, they're dipping in it. Here, wine is truly the elixir of life and good times.
Normally I can't even drink a drop of alcohol, so I feel that I'm getting drunk just from the smell.
I also don't drink, but it smells great and it feels like it has a healing effect.
While this is intoxicating fun, when it comes to the standard and reputation of Japanese wine, there's been little to laugh about. In fact, Japanese plonk has been laughed off as nothing more than sweet swill.
We only thought about Japan's domestic market when it came to producing wine. I think it's important that we make wine good enough for export.
In the past, winemakers would only buy grapes from farmers. They never tried to grow their own grapes. And while we were good at making sake, we never had an idea about making wine.
Ayana Misawa is the new face of Japanese wine. She's the 5th generation of a winemaking family, but she's the first to train overseas.
The area under wine production in Australia is huge. I was lucky to be able to work with both the Hunter Valley and Margaret River under some excellent winemakers.
Ayana Misawa's goal now is to inject some excellence into Japan's wine industry. And she's leading the way with her family's Grace Winery, already exporting their product to Australia, Europe and Southeast Asia. Famed for its sake, Japan has long been derided for its poor quality plonk. But the days of the dreadful drop could soon be over, with Japanese winemakers banking on an indigenous grape, sparking an export-driven revival.
This is a kosher grape, and this is very important grapes for us because this is the only one grapes for making wines. I mean, in Japan, this is the originally come from Europe, but it exists just only Japan.
So it came from Europe, I believe, a long time ago, many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago.
1,000 years.
Yeah.
The Koshu grape originally came through the Silk Road from the Caucasus, but now it's being claimed by Japan as its great wine hope.
I believe the Koshu grape can restore Japan's reputation for producing wine. Chardonnay and Cabernet are grown all over the world, but Koshu is a uniquely Japanese grape. Its special taste goes very well with Japanese cuisine, and because Japanese cuisine is very popular now, I think Koshu has a great chance that many people will try it.
At the foot of Mt Fuji, Yamanashi is Japan's premier wine-growing region. Grape growing began here more than 1,000 years ago. Here, the Koshu grape is in its element, able to withstand the region's rainfall and resist the rot that plagues vinifera grapes. Shigekazu Misawa is the father of Ayana Misawa and the owner of the Grace Winery. So Misawa-san, how long has your family been making wine for?
We've been making wine since 1923. I'm the 4th generation of my family in the wine business.
Shigekazu Misawa is banking on Yamanashi's Koshu wine becoming as well known and respected as other big names, such as the famous drops of Bordeaux, Monterey and the Barossa Valley. This year it's expected that Yamanashi growers will export more than 10,000 bottles of Koshu wine.
I think Koshu is Japan's most unique variety. What is Koshu's uniqueness? It produces a delicate, fresh and natural wine with a slightly lower alcohol percentage. It goes very well with light and healthy food.
But just convincing the Japanese to take a tipple of their own wine could prove the toughest task for the industry. In a notoriously fickle society driven by fashion and fads, Japanese vino just doesn't cut it.
Japanese wine is cheap. There are many of them that make you bored. I've tried Australian wine and it was delicious and easy to drink.
Japanese wine tastes a little light and sweet. I like Italian and French.
Scoffed at, rather than quaffed, Japanese wine needs to rise above its reputation as sweet swill. That's the task of the next generation of Japanese winemakers, like Ayana Misawa. And to help her achieve her goal, she's adopted a motto she learnt during her studies in Australia.
She'll be all right, mate.
She'll be all right, mate. And here's cheers to that.